All right, I can go now. Okay. I'm here to just talk. Hopefully this session is supposed to be on Quizlet and Screencast. But what I've done is thrown on a couple other tools that I use for especially my online classes. Because I've just found that when I started thinking about the type of classes I was getting, when I first started teaching, everything was seated. Every class was seated. You didn't have any online classes. But also we said, well, we started teaching more online classes. Then it got to the point where my networking classes, I didn't want to spend the whole, because I could spend the whole day lecturing and answering questions, but they never got a chance to do any lab work. So I says, okay, I need to find a way to get them so when we're in class, they can actually do some things with the physical equipment, which then got me investigating, okay, what do I want to do? I don't want something that's the old boring PowerPoint slides, give me questions and read the book and take a test. So I started looking at, flipped classrooms. Flipped classrooms, I'm sure there's a lot of definitions, but I took it as, I take a lot of the learning part of it, at least the initial knowledge acquisition was done at home or wherever they wanted to, via video, via assignments on the internet, whatever the case may be. And then in class got to more of how do I apply what you've acquired. So I'm not lecturing, but I'm kind of more facilitating questions and participation and projects of that nature. So then it says, oh, okay, video. Now, what do I do? How do I capture all this information on video? So then I started looking at several different tools. Now, and I came up with, currently I'm using 4 different types of tools. One is Quizlet, and that's just basically vocabulary, because most of my classes are relatively new to students. It's not like English that they've always had some form of English going all the way through. It's like, oh, computer networking or programming or something that go like, it's a totally different language. So there's a lot of terms that they just don't have a clue. So I says, okay, I need to get them better understanding terminology. The second one is, after I did a lot of research on video capturing tools, I kind of came across Screencast-O-Matic. One, because if you keep your videos short, it's free. Nice price. If you want to have longer videos, it has capability for that, but it's for a fee. And I'll get into that a little bit later. And I kind of use Screencast-O-Matic in 2 ways. One is I post one short video, like a minute, 2 minutes, on what to expect this week. It's more, especially for my online students, what assignments are they going to have, what are my expectations, things of that nature. And then I give them the lecture. And whether I break it into 10-minute segments or just a whole hour presentation, whatever the case may be, I've done it both ways. Every time I've asked the students, they go, actually I prefer to see it all in one chunk. Even though all the theory says keep it less than 10 minutes because their attention span. So I don't know. I'm playing both. We'll see how that goes over time. And then the third product I use is Remind. Remind I just use because I teach online classes, I want students to be able to get a hold of me when they have a question, not send me an email or, gee, he's got his office hours on Thursday afternoon, so I'll make an appointment Thursday. But the assignments are due on Friday, so will they have enough time to finish it? Remind allows them to send me a text, but it isolates their phone number and my phone number. And to get the students to participate in that, what I do is say, hey, if you register with Remind in this class, I give you 2% credit for the class. So automatically start with 2% just by registering. That may be, in some students, maybe the highest grade of the semester, but but that way they can text me, and I try to tell them, don't text me after 11. But you do get that weekends, but you could set your own rules that way. But that way, I'm available when they're available, and they're not waiting for me. And then the fourth thing I use is reflection journals. And it's just a Moodle text document, an online editing text document. I make it free format, 100 words or so, anything you want. What did you learn? What did you like about the materials? And lately it's gotten to the point where kids are listening, this is the song I listened to this week, here's the lyrics, here's a link to the song. Which first I thought, really? I mean, I give you a chance to tell me about the class, but you're telling me about a song. But then it's like, well, actually I got to know them better, especially with an online class. I get to know a little bit of who they are, which in a seated class you get that because you see them 3 or 4 times a week and you kind of get a feel for who they are. So that's one thing I think the students like, the reflection journal. So these are some of the tools I'm currently using, always looking for others. So let's go through, let's go to Quizlet. Like I said, Quizlet I use it for terms and definitions. The cost of this tool for the teacher version, it's $34. So for about $3 a month, I think it's well worth it. So it's type of equipment you can use. You can do it on your phone. You can use it on your computer. I embed it in Moodle. You could actually have the students enroll in it where they can actually get scores and compete against other students and stuff. But since I'm just using it as a basic knowledge transfer, I just embed it in Moodle. So if I go to Quizlet, go to the link on Quizlet here. Hopefully everything is... you sign up for it and all that wonderful good stuff. Decide which version you want to pay for.
Marcus, it's $34 out of your pocket or through the school system, or for instance, I have 5 instructors. Can I pay for all 5? Or
this is just one fee. Can't type. For me, students don't pay at all.
Okay. He's never submitted an invoice for me for a line item to pay for a reimbursement for.
And I'm sure if
we probably could. If we wanted to, you could probably use supply money. So out of your supply line or something like that, you could probably pay for this.
Is this yearly?
It's yearly. Now, there is an education, there is so we probably buy a systems license, so it could be something that
if the whole college,
wanted or enough
to all of our departments, then they might have an institution pricing plan which would be a little more economical than $3 per month.
Right. So it may be something that if there's enough interest, we can look at it. So, but what Quizlet does is allows me to do a couple of things. It allows me to create a class. So it's not really rocket science. Create a class. I usually don't let other members add instruction. I don't want them changing definitions. But if you were doing pairwise teaching, maybe you would allow other instructors to add, subtract, change your definition. And if you're also teaching at multiple colleges, you can select other schools so that you can keep them, either keep it separate or not. So, create the class, and then once you create the class, what they have is what's the study set. A study set basically is, what are my questions? So in this case, I'm going to add a study set. I'm going to create a new one. Test questions. And then there's a couple of different ways you can enter questions in. One, you can manually set them in, enter the term, enter the definition, and keep adding questions, terms and definitions all day long. Since a lot of my textbooks are PDF or online, if somebody else has already created a dictionary, like some textbooks have the vocabulary at the end of the chapter, they have a way of importing from Excel or Word, or you can copy and paste into the definition. So basically, I usually, like today, I put in like 60 terms for a wireless class. And basically, all I did was copy and paste from my online textbook and paste it in here.
So a little back and forth, but it worked.
Yeah. You just copy as much as I can copy on the screen, paste it. Now, the one thing you've got to do is they've got a test between what tells me when a definition starts and when a term starts. So they use a tab to specify the difference between a term and a definition. Now, you can set it to be a comma or hashtag or whatever you want, but I use the default tab between term and definition, and then a new line when I want a new term to start. So sometimes when you copy and paste, I have to edit what was pasted to make sure it falls into that format, and that's pretty much all you have to do for that.
Do you have one that you could show us that would give us an idea of what it looks like when it's finished?
Sure.
That's already functioning.
So let's just do this. I'll just go back one. And we'll leave there. And I create a new set. And then what I'll do is say test word 1. Now, and then and my typing is atrocious, but that's spell checker. Term 2. And if you notice that when you start typing words in, Quizlet, like Word does, it looks at its whole database of terms and says, hey, do I have something similar? So if I would just change, let's make it just term. This is okay, I want to make term. So it's term. And then all of a sudden it starts saying, it actually starts giving you definitions. So it kind of helps you, but you just got to be careful based on the application. I can have RAM, but in my computer, interactive computer, RAM means one thing. To my wireless class, RAM means something else. So you just got to pay attention to which definition you want to use. So I'll choose that definition. Kind of do Quizlet and says, okay, world's best. Once I added my terms in, I end up hitting create. So basically, then it saves it, all this stuff. And what it automatically does is, hey, you ready to share it? Now, if I was to send this out to the students and wanted them to interact with the application itself, you could say, here's the link. And here's why, one of the reasons I picked Remind, because now I can text that link to the student saying, hey, you've got a new vocabulary list, boom, go to it.
They can do it on their phone, right?
They can do it on their phone.
My son does it on his phone.
So, but I usually, since I'm embedding it in Moodle, I usually don't do that. So I just pretty much close out of here, and then I say, okay, now I've got my 3 questions, 3 terms and definitions, and then I says, okay, I want to import this into Moodle. Now to import the eclipse or ellipse with the 3 dots gives me a chance of doing a lot of different things with it, and what I choose is embed. So then I say, I go back and say, since I'm putting in flashcards, I'll go down and say, give me the HTML for flashcards, hit copy. And I guess I was in...
Then you go into Moodle.
Then I go into Moodle and say, okay, I want to import that. So I go to activity and resource, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And what I usually go, because I want to make sure they're actually, come on. Moodle's being
You
really
go a little slow, yeah. There you
you. With Moodle, I'll add a page because then I can at least track the activity that the students are doing. Are they going in and checking the vocabulary? So all of a sudden, if they're getting A's and I'm seeing them going and doing the vocabulary, fantastic. I see them getting C's, but I look and they're not looking at doing the vocabulary. I said, guys, if you want to get better grades, pick something. So then I select page. Of course, you got to give it a wonderful name. I bypass. I can put a link and say, hey, this is blah, blah, blah. This is Quizlet turn for Chapter 6, whatever the case may be. But in the content section, under the page content, you got to go, since you're bringing in an HTML code, you got to go to Show More Buttons. So click Show More Buttons, and on the far left-hand side is the HTML button. You click that, paste in what you just copied from Quizlet, and then save. So now there's a link to this, and normally I would tell them it's Quizlet and blah, blah, blah. So if they click on that link, Quizlet opens up. Now there's a couple of different ways the student can play this. I can shuffle the questions. I've got options where I can say, do I want to start with the term or definition? Do I want to have it audio on or off? Because it'll actually, you can actually hear the terms and definitions. So, which I think is kind of good for some of our students. What I also like about this, I set it up as flashcards. But Quizlet says, how about, since we've got different ways of studying, I'll let you choose either matching, learning, a test, the flashcard, spelling, and it takes the same vocabulary I just created and says, oh, give me the matching game.
None of that are things you have to decide beforehand.
You don't have
preemptively have any idea what they may want to do.
Yeah, it's their choice as to how they would want to learn this material. So in this case, it says match everything till it disappears. You start the game and it says, match that, test one, test that, oops, term, and this one matches, and these two match. So they can play that game, or they can do a flashcard, either one. So I found this tool to be very beneficial to help generate the different terms, especially for the classes I teach. Now, the second tool, so like I said, cost is about $34 a year. If we get enough interest that we can look at an institutional license, maybe that'll drive the cost down. And actually, it's not out of my pocket, out of somebody else's. So now, the next tool I use is Screencast. Now this, like I said, I use it to capture video. I use it to my week at a glance and my lectures. As far as equipment goes, I have a webcam on my computer and I have a microphone. When I started this, I used my laptop, which had the built-in webcam and a microphone built in. Some of the students complained about the audio quality, so I went and bought a microphone. I got a Yeti Blue for $130. There's a whole lot of other ones out there, probably cheaper, but seemed to make sense at the time. And then the webcam, Logitech, $30. So for $160, $100, it's pretty much everything I need.
But I used it. Some are just my start.
Yeah, so it just depends on how good a microphone you think and video camera you've got. Especially some of the newer computers, they're getting better. So, It was probably just an older laptop I had that just kind of.
I think once upon a time, if you tried to use like the microphones that came on the headset, which was like a $20 or $30 item, it wasn't great quality. You really did have to get a nice one. But now even the $20 microphones and headsets you get are pretty decent quality for most of what we'll do.
Yeah. So let me just go into. I'm going to do. So when you go to the screen recorder, you can download. You can go straight to their website and start recording for free. You really don't have to sign up for anything, but you're limited to 15 minutes. If you want to make longer videos, then you've got to pay for additional fees.
So you're saying that we can make a 15-minute video for nothing?
Correct.
As many as we want.
Huh?
As many
As
as we
many-
want.
As many as you want.
Yeah.
As many
So
videos as you want.
Multiple 14 or 15-minute videos.
Right. So if you had a 2-hour lecture, you could make 8 of them.
Just break it up.
Break it up as you want.
Do you not get the size on it?
Depends on, I guess, if you're storing on your site.
I didn't have any restrictions on size. It was just a 15-minute. Once it got to 15 minutes, it stopped me, and I kind of went, well, I hated having to, because then when you got to like 13 minutes, you're starting to rush, and and I said, no, I forget it. If the fee's cheap enough, I'll pay it and be done with it. So you can sign up for it. What I do want to then go is go back to, because this is where I can't record at the same time. I'm going to let them teach you how to create a video.
Can you
And
use the video off your cell phone?
you can do video off your cell phone. You can use video because you've got a choice of. And they'll go through. You can either save the video to your current computer. You can save it to Screencast, and I've never used their uploading capability. You can go YouTube and post it on YouTube.
And Rochelle, were you saving to their servers or to your...
Initially, but then I put it on YouTube.
On YouTube, okay.
Now, but what the school would rather, and of course this semester of it actually, you can upload it straight to Moodle. Also, Kristen doesn't like you to do that. So she'd rather have you take your video, email to Gary Wilson. Gary will put it in the video repository. Now, I haven't done that. To me, it's like, all right, I'll upload it to YouTube. But to do that, you got to make YouTube public, which then some people just don't like either. So if you don't like I like YouTube, so I post it to YouTube. But if you're one that don't want to do that, email it to Gary Wilson. From what Kristen tell me, he's got fairly fast turnaround as far as getting the video. Send you back a link that you can post in. So
Well, I was under the impression that you seen it private. When you get ready to upload it, you go public, and then as soon as it's uploaded, you go back private.
yeah, you can do that too. To me, I'm basically lazy. I just leave it public and say I don't care. I mean, so
No, I have interactive. I have classes where I want students to record their videos and send them to me, and I've been having problems. Even my yoga class right now, I'm having problems with the students. They hit like limits, and when they go to attach it, it doesn't come through, and they have a problem with that. Is this possible for me? Because if I have a hybrid class or I want something, I need to see what's going on in my student.
Yeah.
Send it to me. Does this work?
this will work. And you can tell the students, keep it with 15 minutes. You create it, send me the link, and you can play it. So let me.
Moodle has those limitations in file size.
But
Now,
even emailing them to me, we're
Email
still
has a...
Yeah, you can't email,
Yeah, we're having
but
some
you could they could post the link to that, especially if they upload it to YouTube. Tell them to create their own YouTube account. They can post. And you got different options, but if they save it to the floppy drive or their own computer, sending you the link of that computer may not be. But all you really have to do is have that link enough that they can insert the link into your Moodle assignment. That's really all you need. It's just got to be there while Moodle uploads it.
So, Mark, they could post to YouTube, for example, if they made their own account, maybe, and then
They
just
could do
send
that.
them a link.
I've
And
had
then
them
you
do
can.
that. I've had them do that. I was hoping this might
And
help.
I've had some of my programming students use an online, like a virtual machine compiler, and so they sent me the link to that program code, and so I got to it, ran their code, and it was fine. So it's just a link, and then there's no space issues in the middle.
So just to show you how easy it is to create this stuff, let me just play their video and let you listen to somebody better than me.
Welcome to Screencast-O-Matic, a fast, free, and easy-to-use screen and webcam recorder used by millions worldwide. Let's get started. Click here to start recording, and then launch the recorder. If it's your first time, you'll be prompted to download and install the software. Once installed, it's just one click to launch. You can record the screen, webcam, or both. You can record as many videos as you want, up to 15 minutes long. Upgrade to our video editor and get unlimited recording times. Drag or resize the frame to record any part of your screen. Or choose pre-selects such as standard HD sizes and full screen. With the webcam selected, you can drag and resize the webcam frame within the recording area. You can choose your microphone to narrate your video. Now hit record, and all the action inside the frame will be captured. Pause, resume, preview, or restart any of your recordings. Click Done, and easily trim the start and end of your video. Then add royalty-free music to excite your audience. It's that simple. You can save your video file to your desktop, post it on screencast-o-matic.com, or publish directly to YouTube. When you upgrade, you get more uploading options. After your video is uploaded, get a link to copy or use quick share buttons to easily share to Facebook and Twitter. For those who want more out of Screencast-O-Matic, Video Editor gives access to tools that allow you to zoom, add text and images, animate overlays, blur sections, and much more. Join in on the fun. Create, share, and experience video with Screencast-O-Matic.
So that is how they create the video. Then the question is, how do I input it in Moodle? Well, luckily you've pretty much seen how I create with page. Oops. Let's go, Moodle. Catch up. So what I'll do with this is when I come on. So here I'll create either I've gone pages or I've gone links. If I go to YouTube, I do a link. Because that way I get the closed caption if it's needed. So basically it's, go to the URL, add the URL, give it a name, copy and paste that link that's in there, maybe write a description, and click save. And that's pretty much all it takes. And then once they get that done, then if I post it, then they just get the video. This one I've got here is I just put in my when I do the weekly, at a glance, I'll just create a label and insert the video. And that's what you get here. So that way Moodle doesn't track how many times they watch this one, but it's one that gives them a visual reflection of, oh, there's something there new to see. And then when I do the video, for the lecture, and then I'll do a URL. It doesn't give me the visual there, but at least I make sure the text tells them, hey, this is the lecture, it's YouTube video. They click that link, goes to YouTube, and then they can go ahead and hit play while they're in YouTube. So those are the basic tools I use. A lot of trial and error, still learning on it, trying to figure out the best way to play this game. So hopefully you found this session beneficial.
The other thing I like about putting it on YouTube is that you can get some statistics from YouTube too, so you can see kind of like, how many hits the video's getting. Like you can see even each person who watched the video, like how far they got into it, like so you can kind of get a feel for attention span.
Of course, at
things
the beginning of the
watched it multiple times.
Yeah.
So which items are they struggling more with, or
And at the beginning of the semester, you see more watching.
Yes.
And it starts
watching, then drops off at the end of this as the semester goes on. But that's where the next thing I'm playing with is, in a video like this, you can use Moodle to embed questions and tests and things inside the video. So as they're playing it, so if you wanted to
Real time?
real time.
Doesn't that take up some of your 15 minutes though?
Yep. So if you go to this interactive content in Moodle, I don't have any of that written in this is all free stuff. But interactive content, and there's, come on. Like I said, I'm still playing with it, but one of these options gives me a chance to edit.
Yes.
Did I miss it? Yeah, what I'll have to do is I'll have to figure that out when I send this out. But one of these gets me a chance to actually insert, kind of break and says, okay, stop here, answer some questions. If you get them wrong, it says go watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it'll actually, when it finishes, you're all done, complete. It'll take the score and give it to Moodle.
Mm-hmm.
So that way, if you wanted to, that way maybe force them to watch the lecture and answer some questions and let you reinforce that. So I will figure out which of these, like I
All
said.
gradable and all that? The same
Huh?
as a regular quiz would be?
Yep. So that one, like I said, I'm still playing with it enough that I can't remember the name of the feature, but I started to play. But I think that's probably my next step is to, since I start seeing the viewership of some of the videos drop, and say, okay, wait a minute, I need to force you to. There's got to be some part of your participation, sometime your grade in this.
We can do simulations, nursing simulations, where we run part of the simulation,
Yep.
stop and ask them what's going on, and then run the rest of the
Yep.
simulation.
Yep.
Or not, or have them go back and repeat it if they.
If they don't understand, they don't answer
They
questions,
don't
or hey, you didn't
understand
pay
what's going on.
attention.
They understand.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that is
Possible.
possible. So I will be saving this lecture or this video, and when I do, I'll figure out which of these
Work.
Moodle options that for some reason I can't remember. So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, give me a call.
Okay. Thank you.